Hello and welcome back to the penultimate episode of Daley Diaries. This time next week it'll all be over. My Olympic diving experience of Tokyo 2020 will all be done. So I have actually got out of the village for a few days to be able to unwind after the synchro, because that was just absolutely crazy and nuts. I still can't believe that we're Olympic champions, but I'm currently in a hotel in Japan. Literally just got here and look at this little view. There's like a whole theme park there that I wish I could go in, but we're not allowed outside of the hotel because, you know, we're in COVID times. So I'm just literally going to be here for 5 days. I'm going to be doing my own gym sessions. I've got a diving pool that I'm training at, a couple of them actually, one with a 10 meter, one with a 5 meter. It's just very much about resetting, resting, and then getting back into the village and getting ready to go again. I'm just overwhelmed with all the love and support after that gold medal with Matty, and it's still not sunk in, if I'm honest, and it's just made me like super excited to get out and compete again in the individual, because no matter what happens I'm always going to be an Olympic champion, and that has been something that I've dreamt of for such a long time now. So super happy, and I cannot wait to get out there and get back in the pool and dive again. Just made it to the gym here and I'm about to go and do a weight session, so here goes. Now after that little weight session, it's a new day in the workroom, and today's mini challenge is to go to a little tiny pool somewhere and do some basic drills. So I'm really excited for myself to go. Sorry, that was really stupid. But I'm on my way to a diving pool that's a lot smaller. It's part of a university. It's only got a 5 meter, just to do some basic skills, get moving and get back in the water. As you can see, just finished that little warm-up of the time lapse of all the things I've been doing, and now we're walking to the pool, and there's literally a lane, as you can see here, literally just for Team GB people, so that we stay away from the Japanese public. This is the pool. It's cute. It's got a 1 meter, it's got a 5 meter, and a few 3 meters. Very small, but you know, it's effective. It's effective. And look at this little welcome to the pool. There's a little picture of me and a well done message. How cute. So I just finished my pool session and they asked me to sign the platform. So I've literally just been up here. How cool is that? Today we had a little bit of a training session in Yokohama, the bigger pool, which you can see it's actually got a 10 meter this time. So yeah, it's lovely here actually. Nice and bright. Pool's nice, it's a little bit chilly in the water, but the outside is so warm that it's just, you know, it's great. Here are some of my dives. And now I'm back to the hotel to rest. I'm going to watch a bit of diving and chill out. And my recovery time here is coming to an end. So I'm going to answer some of your questions in a bit. So on Instagram, I asked you some questions. I've just woken up from the last video, so I didn't do it immediately after. I asked you some questions on Instagram and people gave some pretty good questions. So right, I'm going to go for a few of them. After years of training, what would you say contributed to your monumental success this time? And honestly, I have a different mindset this time. And, you know, it doesn't work every time. It's not like a guaranteed way that it's going to work, but I just had a different sense of perspective coming into this. And I also visualized every single day that we were going to do what we did. And I think there is something very powerful about manifesting your own destiny and like visualizing it and saying it over and over again and not imagining anything else but exactly what you want to happen, essentially. And also being a parent has been the best thing in the world to help with that perspective. I'm curious about the use of tape, especially on wrists, thanks. So I tape my wrist because we hit the water at 35 miles an hour. The amount of impact that you get when you hit the water is really, really intense. So that's why we tape my wrist, but I also go around my thumb because when we grab our hands, we grab like this. And when you go really quickly, sometimes it can go like that. And then I've had bad thumb problems because of that. So that's why I tape it, just to give it an extra layer of protection. Okay, how are you enjoying your stay in Japan? I'm loving Japan. I mean, I'm not really able to get out of Japan that much, but I did a couple of years ago now. Anyway, I did come and do like an amazing trip around Japan. I mean, anyway, here's a little bit of a flashback to when I actually did come and travel in Japan. Do you struggle with being away from your family? I mean, of course, I think everybody has moments where it's difficult to be away from your family, but, you know, we have FaceTime, we message all the time, we always send each other photos, so, and I've also got like a little photo frame with like photo of Lance and Robbie in it, so you do, like, I don't know, there's little things that I bring with me to have that, you know, family comforts near me. Were you always above average when it came to your diving? No, not by a long shot actually. When I was younger I wasn't very good, and my middle brother, William, was better than me. And he was always way faster at progressing than I was. And I always used to like get upset and cry because I was scared of everything. And it wasn't until he stopped diving because he wanted to do football and rugby because diving wasn't his thing. And I carried on, and then there was like a turning point where I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do everything. And it was weird, and then all of a sudden I kind of just went on this like learning curve that was just completely like exponential, and learned everything really quickly. So yeah, since then I've just loved it. What are the little towels for that divers bring out? That's a good question. So we have a chamois, so mine's like a Union Jack tie-dye one, and it has multiple purposes. The functional diving purpose is that when you're spinning around, there's a lot of G-force, so you want to be able to hold on as tight as possible, but if you hold on to a wet leg, it's slippery. So we dry off to be able to have a little bit more grip, but also because it keeps us warm, because if you get cold in between dives while you're waiting around and you're all dripping wet, it's better to just be dry because it keeps you warmer. Are the cardboard beds comfy to sleep on? Yes, I mean they literally feel like any other bed that I've slept on. They're actually really great actually, and there's loads of room underneath them because everything's hollow. Why and how did you start competing with Matty? No, I think lots of people have seen this photo going around. We met back in like 2000, I think it's either 8 or 9, and I mean I don't really remember this photo being taken, but I do remember Matty kind of rising through the ranks in diving around 2012, 2013 as a really great young diver. But I was doing synchro, well at that point I was doing it with Pete, and then I moved on to James Denny, and then I moved on to Dan Goodfellow, who I did synchro with in 2016, and it was after the 2017 World Championships that there was like actually after the Commonwealths in 2018, there's like a change in dynamic because Chris Mears, who was Jack's synchro partner in 2016 on the springboard, retired, so they needed a synchro partner for Jack, and Dan was the person that could fit the bill there, so he came down onto springboard, in which time Matty learnt harder dives, and then we kind of were able to be a pair that was matched by our performance director. Because basically you look for someone that has a similar diving technique and similar spin speeds as you, so that you can get the best synchronization as possible. Me and Dan were always a little bit different heights. I was taller than Dan, and Dan was spinning crazy fast and way faster than I did. So with me and Matty, we have a more similar spin speeds, although Dan and I were good in terms of getting in vertical. So yeah, it's been a good match so far. And there we have it. Thank you for all your questions. I did a little bit of an extended Q&A section in this one. But I will see you all next week for the final episode of Daley Diaries. By next Sunday, it'll all be over. My Olympics 2020. But don't worry, there'll be more videos to come. It's just, you know, this particular series is coming to a conclusion.